Greetings, comrade. It has been a while since my last video. Some major events have happened since then. And these events I want to address. First of all, we will start with the mundane. And this trend is a part of the greater trend I wish to cover. My video talking about Evalion and her marriage to the Straslerite was the most popular video on my entire channel. Now, this video I believe had 6,000–7,000 views. It was not a major video, but it was the most popular video on my channel. My channel is now broken, maybe has gone below, but it's somewhere around 400 subscribers. Now, that's somewhat difficult for an average person, but it's not a major channel. Nevertheless, the video has been taken down. Prior to this, my hard drive crashed, which means that it is almost impossible for me to find a backup of this video, and it's likely lost. I will probably make... I forgot to tell you, this video has been taken down for hate speech, comrade. I tried to say that it was a parody in order to have that not happen, but it was taken down nonetheless. This video is part of the greater trend. It is a trend to crush the right on the internet. From Jordan Peterson down to a lonely Nazbol. Now, this trend was not begun by, it was greatly intensified by one seemingly unimportant but made important event. The riot of Charlottesville, Virginia. Now, some of my comrades believe that the movement, the alt-right movement, whatever you want to call it, the opposition to the totalitarian system that we are now living under, was defeated at Charlottesville. People such as Ryan Falk, Reaganarian, believe that the alt-right was defeated because, in the repercussions, Christopher Cantwell is quickly becoming a political prisoner. The Daily Stormer is now behind the Tor Onion. There has been intense doxing raids. Tor itself has said of the Daily Stormer that it opposes it. A service built on the money, pedophiles and drug dealers. Opposes a comedy white nationalist news site. And now, Steve Bannon has been sacked from the White House, stating that this Trump presidency is no longer the Trump presidency that we campaigned for. Now, comrade, these are all horrible defeats. All these doxings, all these attacks, all this shutting down, from the attacks on Jordan Peterson and the withdrawal of Steve Bannon, down to the bottom, down to some 400 subscriber nobody who dresses up and does a dumb Russian accent. Taking down this video. We are being attacked. We are trying to destroy this movement. The newspapers that your grandmother reads, and the butch, extremely manly Rachel that your mother watches, they tell you that you deserve to be killed. You deserve to be wiped off the face of the earth. Now, you feel like a wild animal with your back to the wall. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to go down in this post-2008 recession world with horrible affirmative action and try to get a job and try to raise a family and just not be political ever again? While the fucking human garbage gets dumped? And while you're replaced and told that you're worthless? Is that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to forget about it? We have no fucking future, and any future we fucking had was stolen from our generation? And that we are by our very birth and blood the most worthless human beings that ever lived? We supposed to just roll over on our stomachs and die? Die because they threatened to dox us? They really think that this is going to end it. No, it won't. It's because they're so stupid. The people in power, these left-wing baby boomers, they don't understand what they've unleashed. I want to tell you a retrospective upon the alt-rights from a 30,000 foot perspective. And somewhat from my perspective. Now, I mean, I am Nazbol, right? It should be stated that I do believe in what would be previously considered, at least in the United States, very far left economic views. Now, these views are completely abandoned by the American right, who is basically inseparable from the neoliberals that were supposed to be the far right 10 years ago, according to someone like Noam Chomsky or some idiots like that. But I do believe in that, and I think with all this doxing and OkCupid kicking Christopher Cantwell off, and Tor rather having pedophiles and joke sites that say gaslight bikes, race cars now. Now they rather say pedophiles are better than them. This is a dark time. But if you retreat back and you look at it from a 30,000 foot view, what do you see? You see the end of the Gen Xers and the Millennials, and now we'll see this Generation Z. They're growing up in a world where the baby boomers control. And these baby boomers, they divorce more. And they have more premarital sex. They have more sex out of marriage than all the generations before. And in their youth they said it should be torn down. But now, as they rule, they finally got power. They don't burn it down. They're just more degenerate than the last generation. And they pay lip service to diversity. But they don't understand what they birthed. What it'll lead to. Their progenitor, what they progenerated, is now the SJWs. And you can see this. I mean, what was the boogeyman in Bill Clinton's presidency? Some kooky Bible thumping polygamist in Texas, right? The boogeyman of the Obama presidency is some Mexican guy in Florida trying to defend himself from a black teenage drug addict. You can see the fall, the chaos, because the baby boomers don't understand what they created. The generation, if you were born and all you lived on was equality, there's no God. Have all the sex outside of marriage, nothing is wrong with being a faggot. Everything the white people do is wrong. Black people are always in the right. They have no agency, but they're always the victims, and victims are always the greater. If you've heard that since kindergarten, in every television show you watch, every song you listen to, every book you read is sugar-coated, both implicitly and explicitly, with this culture of death and this anti-white propaganda. What do you expect is going to happen when these people hit college? You're going to go insane. You're going to create SJWs who want the revolution now. And in Obama's term, in the second term, beginning with Trayvon and continuing with these race riots and so forth, it breaks out into utter chaos. And this other chaos is predicated on attacking me for existing because of this. Because of my ethnicity and my existence. Now, beforehand, there was affirmative action, and it was awful. You can read Jared Taylor, you can read Paved with Good Intentions of all the stuff that happened before I was born. It was a very terrible thing, but it wasn't something that demanded your annihilation. If you watch a movie from the 90s or 2000s, you'll notice that the main character, or you'll notice that maybe all the main characters are white. But specifically, it'll be Ziona Wooded, kiked up to have, you know, the doctors or the teachers or all the policemen, all what you're supposed to look to up in society, the authority figures. They're all black, of course, and no black person is ever a robber. No black person is ever, you know, ever sweeps the floor. They're always the highest in class. But all the main characters are white. Now you go see the Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man is the only white person. And Spider-Man is in love with a black mulatto. Spider-Man's best friend is a fat Polynesian kid. And all the kids, all the smart kids, they aren't even Asian. They're all inner city Puerto Ricans and blacks. They're all the kids that are going to college, all smarter in the elite school. They're in the national championship. All these Puerto Rican and black kids in New York. Now you can see the cultural minutia. You can see the collapse. I mean, there was anti-sodomy laws when I was a child. Now you couldn't be they're trying to put people in prison for not saying she, for somebody that has a dick in between their legs and puts makeup on. You can see this chaos that reigns in these people's hearts, these SJWs. They want to destroy me. And you know, beforehand, I could escape, and I could have a job, and I could raise a family, and I could have a life. But every single aspect of society is now pierced by it. You know, beforehand, I'm not a very athletic guy. I make fucking Nazbol videos and I'm all right? Like, obviously I'm not Chad, right? So, I mean, I like stuff like this, right? I like Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, what happened is that their belief, because they were raised in childhood, their belief became their religion of these, we call them SJWs. We should call them the lost. The ones that betrayed their genes, betrayed their God, betrayed everything. They're lost. Now they want to penetrate every aspect of society. They want to penetrate this. This can't be a safe space. Playing football can't be a safe space. Playing soccer can't be a safe space. And most importantly, playing video games could no longer be a safe space. And Gamergate happened. Now, Gamergate obviously is a perennial joke, right? Richard Spencer, in the middle of the race war, holds down the lesbian, the butch, bull-dyke lesbian. She's beaten, bloodied. Her eyes are fucking swollen shut, and she coughs up blood. Richard Spencer's boot is all over her skull. She coughs up blood. In her last word, she says, "Why?" Richard Spencer cocks his Luger, puts the barrel in between her eyes, and says, "All they fucking wanted was ethics and video game journalism." Right? It's a joke. But it's not. Because it penetrated the safety space. It penetrated your mind. It penetrated your psyche. Because there were feminists, religious feminists, that wanted to destroy your game. They wanted to make